Good day, YouTube. Today is Wednesday. It's the 16th of August, 2017. And we are having a carburetor replacement, let's just call it a ceremony. After 1 year of fighting this Motorcraft piece of garbage carburetor that has been flooding out for a year. You've probably maybe have seen my other videos. We've been trying to correct that thing, and it just wasn't having it. I first bought this truck. This is a 1976 F250 camper special. I bought it a year ago from an estate where it had been sitting most of its life. It was special ordered in this color. This truck is one of one. This color was not available in 1976 as far as I could tell. It has all the camper doodads. It's a 460 4-barrel front disc brakes, factory air, automatic power steering vehicle. It's a great truck. Had 38,863 original miles on it. It's got about 41,800 on it now. And I've been fighting this carburetor every single mile. And I'm glad the truck hasn't just exploded, because that thing will just flood out whenever it decides to. So I've attempted to fix it. I've rebuilt it. I've had it rebuilt. I've tried to fix it again. I am absolutely done. I will take the carburetor off, put it in a box, and we will put on a 600 CFM Holley streetwear carburetor. That is a spread bore type carburetor. This is a square bore. I did attempt to buy a Holley spread bore. The only one they make is a marine carburetor to the tune of nearly $800. And I wasn't going to spend that kind of money. So I bought Mr. Gasket adapter plate from a spread bore manifold to a square bore carburetor. They sell them as different part numbers if you were going from a square bore manifold to a spread bore carburetor. So if you have a swap like this to do, remember there are two, depending on which direction you're going, square to spread or spread to square. So I got that Mr. Gasket adapter kit. There's a carburetor. This is not the first one of these I have put on. Like Holley says, bolt on and go carburetor. Now we're cooking, okay? So, if you're into it, let's change this carburetor out. Shouldn't be too big a deal, because I've had that off of there 100,000 times, it seems like. Okay, really 6 times or something. Let's set you up on a stand. And let's change carburetor. Ready? They're ready. I have not run this truck today, but it would start and run. I've already got the air cleaner off of it. Let's go for it. See if I can do this efficiently for everybody. So, let's just unbolt it, shall we? The 7/16 socket for these nuts. They're 5/16 nuts that go into the, or 5/16 studs that go into the intake. They're the smaller nuts, so they use the 7/16. That's half inch. They use a 7/16 socket to remove them. I was looking at the hardware that came with the adapter and the carburetor. It looks like it's going back in with hardware that'll take a 1/2 inch socket to replace, so that's okay. As long as there's room on the carburetor, and looking at the corners on that Holley, I think we're good to go with the larger diameter nuts on the studs. So the adapter is going to bolt down to the manifold. The studs will come up from the bottom. They're actually bolts that will be held in place because there's kind of a hex-shaped hole on the adapter plate, which will keep the bolts from turning when you're putting nuts on them. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. I've had adapters on manifolds before in both directions, from square bore to spread bore, and from spread bore to square bore. Here's my 1/4 inch nut driver for the clamp on the fuel line. you don't have a pair of these, oh, I'll go get you one. Isn't that handy to have? Yes, it is. I like it. Thank you, Musty1. Check out his YouTube channel. He did a tool recommendation video. That's where I got the idea to get these. A set of 3 at Harbor Freight. I think they're around 20 bucks, 25, something like that. Great tools to have. I use the daylights out of them. Okay, so this is the clip for the transmission kickdown. Also, if you're buying a carburetor and you have a Ford with the transmission kickdown, you've got to buy the carburetor that has the kickdown part of it. This one does, and it's also adjustable. Okay, I have 2 throttle return springs. There is one of them, and here is the other one. This just has that pop off linkage like that, and I took the vacuum line off the back for the breather, the vacuum line up front for vacuum advance. Is that it? Seems like I'm missing something. Guess we'll find out when we pull it off of here. Okay, you miserable piece of garbage. How much is coming here? The whole thing. Okay. Junk removed. Okay, quick tip. You pull the carburetor off, plug the manifold. Do it now or as soon as you can. We have a gasket here to get out of here. We do. That's unfortunate. What you got to be concerned about is dropping stuff down the intake. We'll be careful with this gasket and try to just peel it out of our way without dropping pieces, okay? The last thing you need to do is drop something down there and end up taking a project that should only take a few minutes and turning it into an all-day deal where you got to pull the intake manifold, or worse yet, even the heads off, to get to something that you dropped. That would not be good. Oh. Wow. Okay, so let's get it plugged here real quick with a rag. Okay. Okay. It appears I didn't bring a gasket scraper out to my truck. Let's see if we can get this with a knife. Okay, I gotta run and get a gasket scraper. Amuse yourself for a moment. Just didn't think of everything. So, let's whittle this down. Wow, crispy. Crispy, crispy. Okay, that's better. Okay, we'll just go over the entire surface with this gasket scraper. Scrape everything to the outside. No sense putting any dirt down in there. There we go. Almost there. That's pretty good, actually. Okay, do the finger test. Okay. Now then, it's adapter time. So this is the adapter. It's obviously going to go this side down. Ooh, I'm going to have to remove those studs, aren't I? Yep. Of course I am. One step ahead. Okay. Those of you, they make a tool for removing studs, but two nuts jammed together typically works just as well or better. Those are 7/16. So we'll need two 7/16 inch wrenches. We want to tighten the bottom one up to the one on the top, and then use the bottom one to break it loose, and we'll spin them out. Okay. Do they all come this easily? No, these haven't ever been out either, so. And then you got to get the nuts back off and put them down on the next one. Keep your intake manifold covered. This is where dropping a nut is going to ruin your day, because they always go down the hole. Do I have experience with that? Yes, I do. Okay, always save these old studs, right? You never know. I'm going to put them back in the box, just in case somewhere down the road somebody wants to put this truck back like it came from the factory, this piece of crap as it is. Nice and easy. Remove the studs. And then the adapter is going to go down with their Allen head bolts. How much time we used yet? Hope my camera goes long enough to get the whole thing in. I'm not much of a video editor, as you can tell so far. One day we'll have to go there. So, one-shot wonders. Three down, one to go. Time to stand up, stretch my back. So, on Monday, I'm sure you've heard about it on the news somewhere, is the total eclipse. I live in a town in Oregon that is in the path of totality, so they say. So Monday morning, about 9 or 10 or something like that, it's gonna get dark. I'm going to be out here with my camera and take a video through a filter of the eclipse so y'all can see the whole thing on my YouTube channel. How would that be? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I got nothing else to do. We're not going to go to work on Monday because we don't think we can get there. Evidently, our whole state's going to get like 1 million visitors or something. That's what they predict. And it's kind of going to impact our way of life here a little bit. So they say. Okay, all the studs are now out. Now we can look at the adapter plate, for which we have a spreadbore gasket for. These are evidently little heat riser things. Is that going to hurt anything? Not if that fits well. This doesn't fit very well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Houston, this video may end early. No? That's right, isn't it? Seems like it's right. What's this for? What the world do I have going on? What the world do I have going on here? So this is square bore gasket. What? So it appears that I have a spreadbore carburetor with a square bore bolt pattern. Isn't that the darndest thing you ever seen? How am I supposed to put a gasket on this thing? Okay. Risky move there. Yes, the square bore gasket fits. I'm gonna mess it down this thing. Pause for effect. What is on the bottom of this monstrosity? Oh, look at that. I thought this was wish now I wouldn't have peeled that gasket off of there. So this is an aluminum plate that I'm going to need. And oh boy. If I put this gasket on, the holes are gone. If I put this gasket on, it would fit, but I'd have to cut out the secondaries. Well, no, I wouldn't either. Why? Because the butterflies aren't that big. So I could use that as is. Then I could put on the adapter like that to a square bore. And that's okay. And then I can put on that gasket for square bore. I'll bet my studs that we just took out are fine. Are they long enough? That's the question. Are they long enough? No. They're not long enough. Did I get any with the kit that are long enough? Possibly. No. Well, this isn't going exactly as I expected it would, and what I'll need to do now is go get some studs. So I think what we'll do is fast forward the video just to show the how this thing would complete. So the Ford spread bore is not like GM spread bore. It's not like Quadrajet bore stuff, evidently. But know, I guess now that the Ford spread bore has the same 4-bolt flange pattern as a square bore. That's interesting. Didn't know that before. And this little heat riser thing probably gonna break. It's now in my way for the old choke. This one's got electric choke. So then I would go like such and such and such. So the kickdown rod, guess I'll have to figure it out. Might need to make an extension for it. The linkage, variety of holes in the carburetor to put the linkage ball on, that'll snap right in. 2 springs will go on. There's a plug in the back to plug the vacuum back in for that big hose there. Vacuum advance up front. I might refer to the manual where the vacuum advance goes. Obviously the vacuum advance wants to pull vacuum when the engine is above an idle, so if you're just testing ports while it's running, if you have vacuum at an idle, that's not the port for vacuum advance. And hook the fuel back up. So we're actually in pretty good shape here to get this thing all back buttoned up. I'll go ahead and end the video because I need to go get some longer studs. I'll have to determine exactly what that length is and go get, those would be 5/16 18 thread per inch studs, both ends. Or you can get 18 threads per inch going down and 24 thread going up, which is the National Fine. That is what the original stud was. So I'll probably get a 18 thread into the intake manifold and a 24 thread above. They'll be just like these, about a 1/2 inch longer is what we'll need. So I was hoping to go all the way through and then fire it up, but it's going to take me just a little longer because I got to run for parts, and then I'll come back, put studs in, button it up, fire it up. So I'll do a follow-up on this thing down the road, and I'm anxious to get this done so I can drive it this weekend, and we'll go from there. But thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll let you know how successful we were on this baby.